All right, Adam Hoge joining us as we've got the press conferences earlier today. Hoge, first of all, I just want to show you, I'm sure you've seen it, that I'm improving.
I got the lid.
I'm making moves, and I didn't sleep well last night, and I was thinking about you and your computer, so I hope you're doing well.
Oh, I'm great. We just had a little bit of an input issue that I've never experienced before. One of the inputs on my computer not working.
That's what I needed.
So, yeah. You know, it does make me feel better to see that lid, though. We're making progress. We're improving, just like Tyson Bagent. But unfortunately, damage has been done along the way.
Yeah, well, right. And we're going to rectify that damage. I'm not running from it. I have made overtures to you and your people that I'm ready to fix that computer in any way, shape, or form. I'd even take it to the Apple Store for you. I'm trying to own my part. And
how do you fix it though? Like once it's broken, it's broken, right?
Nah, there's got to be something that they do at the.
I
honestly don't know. I don't know.
If there were ways to fix it, I think yesterday was the day to do them. Now I think we're a little too far past.
You stop talking. The thing's going to magically fix itself. How about that? All right, Hoge, let's just as we start off here, I just want you, as you've digested everything from yesterday, watching polls and watching Flus and seeing Jaylon. We don't even need to talk about the incredible backup 17. What's your biggest takeaway from everything that happened at Hallis Hall yesterday?
My biggest takeaway is it's just kind of what we've been saying for a long time. This team needs to find a way to start winning football games because it's every week. There's more drama. There's more explanations that need to be given. Sometimes those explanations are given more clearly than others, especially when Poles talks. Like every time Ryan Poles comes to the podium, you feel a little bit better about, everything that might be going on. One thing I do want to say, because I've heard you guys talk a little bit about this, and it's all over Twitter too. I think we're reading way too much into that one answer Montez Sweat gave about, I want to see, the building. The dude literally had just walked in the building. Like he still had his coat on. Like he had his physical, and he put his coat back on, and then he went to do his media. And then he got kind of asked a leading question, like, do you want to sign here or do you want to see what the building's like and everything? And then he's like, I want to see what the building's like. Like, what's he supposed to say? He also said multiple times, I'm not really involved in this. My agent's talking. Yep. And then Ryan Poles got up there and said, we're going to get this thing done. So I think I've seen it all over Twitter, all these other places. Like, I don't think Montez Sweat is like really, I got to wait and see what this situation's like. If the Bears rise to the occasion and offer this dude $25 million a year, he's going to sign the contract.
Okay, so do you think, and you might be reading the tea leaves dead on, spot on, and that'd be great for Montez Sweat and the Bears. Do you think it happens before the game on Sunday? I know this is a guess, because after Sunday, anything can happen in a football game. I.e. him getting hurt.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Dude, yeah. Maybe, yeah. I think Sunday would be not a deadline, but a goal, right? Like to get that thing done before kickoff Sunday. I'll just answer it this way. It would not shock me at all if that extension's announced before kickoff Sunday.
Well, I mean, you see Ryan Poles is already going to work. Andrew Billings gets extended today. Well-deserved, pretty reasonable contract. When that came out, what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, smart move. You guys know this. I've liked the Andrew Billings signing from day one. I thought it sort of flew under the radar when it happened. The second they signed him, you turn on the tape and you're like, like this dude's a big dude who can move. He is going to run stuff. And I think he's been a huge part of why the Bears' run defense has improved. And then this is sort of a fault, I think, to the rest of the defensive line than anything else. But he's also caused probably the most havoc even as a pass rusher, even though that's not necessarily what his job's supposed to be. So very reasonable deal. Add 2 more years onto this other contract. You now control him for the next 2.5 seasons, about $6 million guaranteed, about $8 million overall. This contract isn't going to hurt anything going forward. It just gives you another dude there in the middle. And then I think still leaves open the possibility that you're hoping Gervon Dexter, Zach Pickens, develops into something. But this kind of gives you that security blanket where if that doesn't happen, you at least have your one technique, a guy you can rely on and be successful with in this defense.
What's your read on Jaylon Johnson not willing to negotiate right now? Still going to put himself out there every week and he used the words, build his resume. Called himself the best corner in the game. As a lot was put out by Jaylon yesterday.
Yeah, I thought you would appreciate it as a me guy, what he was trying to say.
Yeah, I did.
No, in all seriousness, we were that turned into a little bit of a bit, the me guy bit. But I totally understood what he was saying yesterday and it was refreshing honesty, because you definitely get a lot of players that are just like, I just want to win games. The contract will take care of itself. And I think we heard, and I hope people check this out if they didn't already see it earlier in the week, but there was a chunk of our interview with Cole Kmet the other day where he really, got into the weeds on some of this stuff emotionally, how it affects you. And, I think some people could have taken Jaylon Johnson's comments out of context yesterday where he's like, I play for myself first. That's not necessarily the answer you want to hear, but it's probably the most honest answer you're going to hear, because he didn't dismiss anything like, I don't care about my teammates. No, he still wants to win. He's still playing for the Bears logo too, but he admitted that logo comes after himself, his family. He's, supporting his family. That's basically Mark Carman in a nutshell, right? He does care about us, but as he admitted, he's a me guy first. Guy first, but also cares about CHGO second.
And as TBU gave us $5 super chat. Reporter, there's no I in team. Kobe, yeah, but there is an ME in that motherfucker.
And Hoge, I'm assuming that you didn't see the start of the show, or did you?
Not the very start. No, I was drying my computer off.
Because basically what I asked everybody, are you here for CHGO or are you here for yourself? And these liars, right here, I'm here for CHGO. I'm like, no. It's a great teammate is here for yourself first, and that benefits CHGO because you have a highest standard for yourself and you make everyone around you better. If you're just here for CHGO, then you're going to do everything, that in Jaylon's case, I'm going to do everything that everyone says, and I'm going to capitulate and versus like maybe you can actually impact the entire team in a great way because you have tremendous pride and you're going to lift everybody up. I loved what Jaylon said yesterday. I thought it was honest. I thought it was truthful, and I think it benefits the Bears, and that's the type of guy that I would want in my locker room, which is what you are underlining right now, Adam Hoge, because you're a brilliant man.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for sucking up to me after what happened yesterday.
I'm gonna. You got like another month of it. It's just keep going.
No, I'm gonna soak it in, just like my computer soaked it in.
There's a super chat that says you need to put that thing in rice right now. Big Cram is out there for me. Hoge, put it in a bag of rice. It'll suck up all the water. I demand that you do that, please.
I'm not putting my $2,000 MacBook Pro in a bucket of rice. Like. It's not soaking wet. The rice isn't going to do anything. We might need to put it through. No, that's not. I
mean, theoretically, if you put it in a giant bag of rice, the rice sucks the moisture out from within the computer. But again, that's something that I think you probably should have done yesterday. If there is damage done, it might already be too late.
So you're saying it was Hoge's fault and that I'm not.
I guess there's some company called You Break, I Fix. Check that out, but we'll worry about your laptop later. Carm will buy you a new one. He's got money.
The $2,000, no big deal.
Yes, science.
Or if you're me guy before CHGO, it opens yourself up to conspiracy theory. Did Carm purposely sabotage my laptop to put me behind the game?
I still think you need to do some sort of breakdown video. Perhaps the telestrator could come out for this. I don't know. You look at his eyes. I slow-moed it last night. That's possible.
Oh, here comes the slow-mo on the eyes.
Jimmy the Lumberjack says, Hoge, not cooked rice, uncooked rice.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get your...
We'll read the chat accurately. He called him Hoge.
Yeah, he did call you Hoge.
I mean, what's
like
fine.
Merrill Hoge.
I'm sure that's some sort of autocorrect situation.
Well, you got to be better.
Thank you, Les Grobstein.
Yes. So, how about Justin Fields here? Any inclination, anything you're hearing as far as how close he can be? I guess my biggest question is, obviously, I don't anticipate him to play even though Matt Eberflus didn't completely rule him out on Monday. But at the same token, is that because they think he might be ready for Thursday, or that this is more than likely going to be something where he comes back after the extended, little mini bye?
I think there's a chance for Thursday. I mean, part of that is admittedly me guessing, but I do get the sense that he's done a little bit more. I mean, this gets into a little bit of a deeper discussion, but if you're Justin Fields, do you really want to come back in the Superdome against a really tough defense, maybe one of the toughest matchups they've had recently and this season? Or do you want to come up against the Panthers, a few days later? There's a world in which now the questionable thing about that would be they don't really practice in between the Saints and Panthers games. But, I mean, Justin's been locked in. You guys saw him on the sideline.
I mean, couldn't you put him on a schedule if they did plan to play him on Thursday that starts today as if it was his game week?
Well, and it's almost like a pitcher that knows, hey, I'm not facing the Astros in this 3-game series, but we got the Rangers coming up next. That's my next start. And he's already working ahead, to the scouting reports for that team, right? So there is a world where, like, maybe Justin's behind the scenes already kind of working on Panther stuff for all we know. I'm not saying he's playing against Carolina. I could see it happening. But if not the Carolina game, I would 100% expect him to come back the following week. Who are they playing after the Panthers? Oh, the Lions. The Lions after the mini bye. So, and that's a pretty big game.
Hoge, are you on? I got 2 questions here for you in the same Tyson Bagent umbrella. Number 1, are you upset that the Bagent love has just diminished to 0 this week? and number 2, what are your expectations for Bagent on Sunday?
Well, what was your favorite part of the Tyson Bagent era?
Well, as Cody Delmendo would say, the friends we made along the way.
Well, I mean, not for Carm, noted me guy. I'm sure it's his song. Yeah, obviously.
Well,
the song.
Listen, I'm expecting it's the Saints have been fantastic this year in stopping teams throwing the football. Gardner Minshew had an incredibly tough game against him, as did Mac Jones. I think people should be looking at those numbers to answer my own question. And if Bagent can exceed what those guys did, that just gives you an elevated idea of where he is on a Bears team that's not exactly overflowing with talent. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, look, I don't think that first of all, this is a tough matchup for him. I don't get the sense the Bears think Bagent played poorly against the Chargers. I don't think they think he played great either. But Getsy certainly wasn't complaining too much about Bagent today. I do think that he made the wrong read against a tough cover 2 look. On the interception when he was trying to get to DJ Moore, should have hit the flat. We've covered that now. Flus said that Monday. Bagent said that Wednesday, and Getsy said that today. But also, one thing we learned today from Getsy, good job by him subtly, correcting. I don't know if correcting is the right word, but he got asked about the end around to Trent Taylor, basically, and it sounds like the wrong run check was made at the line of scrimmage, perhaps. Basically said that wasn't really how that was supposed to go, which, not too surprising, but good, because shouldn't have been running that play, obviously, to that look. So, we learned a couple things there today. I think that's both of those examples I just brought up are examples of Bagent's inexperience, right? And that was one thing that Justin Fields, in my opinion, was doing pretty damn well earlier this season, was the pre-snap reads and making the right checks at the line of scrimmage. And Bagent's just not going to have that experience yet, no matter how many passes he threw in college. This is the NFL. This is a different offense. These are different defenses he's going up against, and they're going to try to confuse him. And I think the Chargers got him a couple times in that game. Another tough matchup this week against the Saints, and there's probably going to be some more of that. But I'll tell you this, and I certainly don't think the Bears are going to win this game, but if they do, I mean, anytime you have your backup come in for the starter, you're really ideally just trying to get by, right, and go 500 for as many games as it is. And if he ends up 2-1 in this stretch, right? Like, you're not really complaining about that. So I'm just saying, like, I don't think the book should be closed on Bagent. I think we learned that the hype got a little out of hand. But
you're responsible for it. What do you mean? I gave you that look because that's your fault,
dude.
Don't dude me.
Yeah, I am duding you. I am as with all due respect to me. As a me guy, I do not have that much power. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Now, NBC, when you go on Sunday Night Football,
you were the one that probably fed him all that info.
Well, I did talk to Collinsworth, and I did talk to Tirico.
Look at this guy flexing over here.
So look, but. It's a cool story. They were looking for a story. Why were they looking for a story? Because the Bears suck. They were looking for something to talk about. This is the best. This is the shiny thing that we can carry through this broadcast and get the Chicago TV market, because we're not gonna flex this game because they're the Bears, because Bears fans will watch no matter what. And what can we possibly do? Okay, we'll talk about 17 out of West Virginia's dad, the arm wrestler. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to take credit for that, but I don't think that Hoge, am I wrong? Can I volunteer myself that it was all me? Because I'd love to do that, but I don't think that's accurate.
I think you had an influence. I would hope to think that this show does have somewhat of an influence. So
fine.
take your victory lap for false hope.
We're the tone setters. God damn it. Obviously Montez Sweat is hopefully going to be a tone setter for this team. I want to ask you this because Pep, our guy on Twitter, was tweeting at us and wanted this question to be asked to the coaches at some point. And I have heard, I got to give my guys Shane and Phil from the Tape Never Lies credit on this. They've been saying it all season that DeMarcus Walker is playing out of position. With the addition of Montez Sweat, could that potentially slide DeMarcus inside and get him somewhere where he might be more comfortable?
I mean, I just think DeMarcus Walker is a versatile guy who's probably not an every down starter, at either spot. So I just think the hope in general is, whether he's lining up outside or kicking inside, that having Montez Sweat on the field is going to open up more opportunities for somebody else. And I think we're going to find that out here very quickly. This is just me personally. If I'm Montez Sweat, I'm signing that deal as fast as I can.
I agree.
Because my prediction here, and it's going to be one of those things that isn't fair to him, but does he have 6.5 sacks right now?
That's right.
I don't think he's going to have 6.5 sacks the rest of the season. I think if he gets to 10 on the year, double-digit sacks, that would be a win. It's just he's not on the same defensive line that he had with those defensive tackles in Washington. But now, that being said, that doesn't mean that when it's all said and done that he's not playing well for the Bears. I mean, the hope, I think, is that he opens up more opportunities. Maybe Yannick Ngakwe's sack numbers increase. I mean, that's, I think, the hope. Maybe DeMarcus Walker gets home a little bit more. I still, though, just worry that this team does not have a impactful enough 3 technique that consistently gets penetration to make this whole thing work. That's my big fear. And I think that's what they're lacking. And signing Montez Sweat, trading for Montez Sweat, then signing him to an extension, like that doesn't change that missing piece that's still there. And unless Javon Dexter really takes a huge, and he's been playing better. It's not that I don't like Javon, but he's got a ways to go before he's really making the type of impact, opening up these opportunities for all these other players, because he's not a player right now that they need to worry about double teaming. And until that happens, those guys on the outside are going to get more of the attention. It's certainly a better defensive line on paper, but it already was a better defensive line on paper when the season started. So how do they get this thing going? I don't think Montez Sweat hurts anything, but if I were him, I would sign that contract extension and because I just don't think the numbers are going to be the same as they were in Washington.
So you're saying even if they kicked Marcus Walker inside to play 3 technique, as Kid Stro in our chat's asking, like even if they have the ability to do that, is he going to make a big enough impact for it to make a difference?
Well, let me ask you this: if you put DeMarcus Walker there at the 3 technique, are you doubling him?
No.
So yes, I think DeMarcus Walker can be solid inside, but they don't have that guy that really, as an offensive line, you're worried about on every single play, or where you have to give extra attention. That guy doesn't exist right now. If anything, it's Andrew Billings, right? At the 1 technique.
I agree.
So, and that's not how it's supposed to be. They got to find that guy. To me, that's right up there with center on the top of my list as they try to build these offensive and defensive lines. Use the number 1 overall pick on a center. Use the number 2 overall pick on a 3 technique. Forget quarterbacks. Quarterback position doesn't matter. It's overrated.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need one. They got 17 and 1. Let's go. QB competition 2024.
See who he started with?
Live
17.
into it. It's just, yeah, that's right. Hey, Hoge, we're gonna let you go now. You're my hero. Feel free to use that dry rice like Big Cram advised, and otherwise I'll just be and I'll be praying regardless. So,
I mean, if I had thought of this better, I would have put like a raincoat on before I did this hit.
Yeah, it's okay. I removed the cup from studio yesterday.
When you come in studio next time, bring a raincoat and an umbrella. That definitely will play.
We'll see you Sunday at 11 o'clock sharp, maybe 10:45. Okay. Bears Pre, Saints, victory.
Love you, Braggs. Carm.
Let's go. I got your back, Hoge.
Thank you, buddy. See ya.
There goes Adam Hoge.
High and dry. Adam Hoge.
We all silly like the mayor.